Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. As you can see, this is my Not So Berry challenge and my sad Not So Berry challenge house. I'm about to start the third generation. I've been living in this startery house for a long time and I figured it was time for something new. And our first generation, Martin Mint here, he's getting kind of old. He's getting ready to retire, and as you know, for the Not So Berry challenge, the Mint generation has to be vegetarian, eco-friendly, a green thumb, lucky, and an angler, which means he loves fishing. And his daughter Roseanne, she's part of the Rose generation, so she's gonna want to be a politician. So I thought, where am I gonna move them? And when I zoomed out to map view, I remembered I'm playing in Lucky Palms here. So if we go over to the other side of the map, we have this nice little houseboat area. But unfortunately, since this is a base game world, they're not actually functional houseboats. They're just for pretend on these little platform things, but there is a way to add houseboats to any world you want, at least any world with water. So I thought that's what I'm gonna show you guys today. So yes, this is another tutorial. I was gonna do this anyway for my Not So Berry challenge, but I didn't want it to get lost in the mix. So this is just a standalone video to show you how it works. Now, like I said, this should work in any base game world that has water, but be warned, sometimes the houseboats are a little difficult to maneuver in worlds that it wasn't made for. For example, I probably can't scooch through these little canals here, but I guess we can play test it out and see. I just wanted to live on a houseboat, to be honest. So the first thing you want to do is just go into edit town so that you can place down your lot. Now the lot you choose has to be big because it has to accommodate any size houseboat. Even if you're just using a small houseboat, you need a big lot. I tend to use the 50 by 25 or the 50 by 50. You don't need to use the 64 by 64. And I can probably get it to work with the docks over here, but I think I'm gonna place it near the beach because then that way you can see how it'll work for any world. I've seen people do this in Sunset Valley. I've seen people do it in Roaring Heights, so it's usually pretty good. Now, when you place down the lot, I like to just have like the first row of tiles on the shore. See here how the first 5 are kind of on the shore, but then the rest kind of bleed into the water. And you also want to make sure that the back of your lot doesn't go onto an island or anything like this. So I'm going to kind of move it more to the middle. I'm actually going to rotate it a little bit too, because I want it to kind of face the road there. So let's see, I've got the 5 squares on the shore. I've got nothing else at the back. This should be good. Now, if you're having the problem where you place down the lot and the land raises, it means you didn't put the lot close enough to shore. So you can see if I just move it over here and just get some of it on the shore, it should work just fine. So the next thing you want to do is change the lot type to a porch. So right now there's no lot type specified. I think it's just a residential lot. So I'm going to click on change lot type, then I'm going to click community lot, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down until I find port. Honestly, I think there's more different lot types in The Sims 3 than there are community lots total in The Sims 4. And there it is, port, very close to the bottom. Okay, so I'm just going to click it and then click the check mark. Now that we have our port lot, I'm just going to go into build by quickly so that way we can add a dock and a barge. And in order to do this, you want to click one of the stilted foundations here. It doesn't matter which one you use, just use whichever one that you think is going to look the best. My personal favorite is the middle one, the steel stilted foundation. I use this for almost everything. Now, when you build your dock, you want to make sure you start in the water. You don't want to start on the land, because if you start on the land here, your dock is going to be way too high up. See, if you start from the water, you'll notice that the dock is actually a little bit lower, and it's got to be that low height in order to work with the houseboat, because the houseboat can't really go up and down if it's a boat. It can really only go side to side. So I'm going to start in the water here, and I'm just going to drag a straight stilted foundation all the way to shore. Now, of course, you can decorate this any which way you want, and you can make it all different styles, but we're just going to do a basic one so that way we get the foundation. Get it? Foundation? Just kidding. Now, next thing we have to do is type in a couple cheats. This type of lot requires a debug item, so we're going to have to turn on our testing cheats, and we're going to have to enable the by debug. And in case you don't know, you just type in testing cheats enabled true. There we go, and then we hit enter. And the next one's even easier. We just type in by debug, and that's it. Now, when you click on by debug, you'll see this question mark appear, and that's actually the debug menu. And you'll notice there's so many debug items, like we have tomb objects, underwater objects, fish spawners. Again, because I actually have all the expansion packs installed right now. But the item that you're gonna need is specifically from Isla Paradiso. So you can do this in any Sims 3 world, but you do need the Isla Paradiso expansion pack for the houseboats to work. And when I filter by Isla Paradiso, only a few items show up, and the thing that we're looking for is gangway style. Again, you can make it any color you want to match the style, but I just click on the middle one usually. Now, when you click on this object, you're gonna see a big buggy square, but that's actually the square where your houseboat's gonna fit. And remember how I said that it needs to fit the biggest houseboat? So it looks like I made my dock a little bit too big. Now to fix that, I'm just gonna go into the sledgehammer tool and just delete some of it. There we go, that should do the trick. Just make sure you rotate it so that way it's facing out. You kind of want it to face out so that way your houseboat has a much easier time leaving the port. Now there's only one square where it works, but if you notice, it turns green right here. So I'm gonna gonna click it. Now, full disclosure, I actually encountered a different problem. I didn't put my houseboat close enough to shore, so maybe we want to do 2 squares. It's tricky because you need it long enough to get onto the shore, but you also need it long enough in the water to fit the houseboat. I guess that's why we're using a big lot, but maybe it's time for a recap anyway. Click on the lot, change it to a port, and once we have port selected, we go into build by, and then once we're in build by, we're gonna build our dock again, which we can easily do by going into foundations, clicking on the steel stilted foundation, and dragging it from the water all the way to shore. You'll also notice I'm doing this kind of close to the edge of the lot too, which is again important to fit the houseboat. And since we still have debug enabled for build by, I can just click on Island Paradise and easily find the gangway style. Once again, I think I made it a little bit too long, so we'll just delete a little bit there. These problems don't come up if you use a bigger lot. I just like to squeeze everything in as efficiently as possible. And there we go, it's clicked on. And then like I said, we just need a way to get onto the houseboat, so I'm just gonna add a set of stairs over here. It doesn't really matter where the stairs go, just make sure that they connect to the dock and to the ground here. That should be routable. And then for good measure, I'm just gonna stick a little fence on. Like I said, you can decorate this any which way you want, but I guess we can do that when I build the actual house. Okay, once you successfully have a dock, a set of stairs to the dock, and the gangway style, then you're ready to place your houseboat. So go back into Edit Town, and this time when you click on the port lot, since it has the gangway style, it's gonna allow you to choose your houseboat. So you click on Set Houseboat here, and then you can pick any size you'd like. Now, the barges are basically rectangles, and the curved bow is kind of like what you'd think of when you think of a boat. And honestly, I don't know which one to pick. Do I want the wide one? Do I want the narrow one? The narrow one's a little bit longer, but I think I'm gonna pick the wide one because my family's only gonna get bigger. With the Not So Berry challenge, you know you're gonna have a baby soon. Great, and now if I go back into build by, we're gonna see our boat there. See this front part? That's what I meant by curved bow. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Now you have your functional houseboat here in a Sims 3 base game world. And from here on out, you can do any sort of building or decorating that you want. You can add your house, add a door, add some windows if you want. Oh my God, it's looking like an EA house already. But yeah, let's just pretend that I built an actual house for a second, and we're gonna move my family in to test it out. So I'm gonna go back into Edit Town, and I'm gonna go to my active household. Oh my God, my Not So Berry Sims are moving. They're moving for the very first time, my goodness. Okay, so I'm gonna click Evict, and then I'm gonna find my houseboat lot here, and I'm gonna move them right in. So I'm gonna click Place, and then click on the houseboat. Now, if you've been watching my Not So Berry series, you know I've been saving up for this. So we have 42,000 in household funds, and the houseboat at this point is only 11K. So we'll actually have some money to build something nice. Now that they're moved in, I'm just gonna switch them to the active household, and I'm gonna save the game because this is actually something I want in my save file. Sometimes for tutorials, I just exit out without saving. And yeah, here we are. My Not So Berry Sims have just moved into their houseboat, and it's ready for me to design to my heart's content. And just to test it out, let's see if they can get their houseboat all the way out into the water here. So I'm gonna click out here and click Move Houseboat here. And there goes Martin. He released his houseboat from the barge, and he's going to the spot I told him to. And he did it without spinning in circles. Sometimes in base game worlds, they'll kind of go in a weird route because once again, these worlds were not designed for this. And an important fact to note is that the barge is actually not part of the household. It's technically a community lot, so you can put multiple ones of these so that way you can move your houseboat all over the map. And if you did want to decorate this, like the fence or the stairs or whatever, you'd have to do it from Edit Town, kind of like a community lot as well. But I hope that cleared everything up, and I hope it got a few of you excited for the next steps of the Not So Berry challenge because I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, that pretty much does it for this tutorial. Let me know in the comment section down below if you tried it out or if you have any problems. Just feel free to comment a question. I know these things can be tricky, but I tried to do it nice and slow, step by step, but of course sometimes you encounter unforeseen problems. But anyway, that's about it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed the video and the tutorial. If you did, or if it helped you, feel free to leave a like or a comment or even subscribe for some more Sims content. And if you're already subscribed and looking for the next episode of the Not So Berry challenge, you'll be seeing it very soon. I actually think I'm gonna film it right now. I'm really excited to get this going. So I guess Roseanne and I will see you in the next one. Boom.